Commissioners present are Jay, Jim, Ted, Jay, and Liz. I know that the applicant is here, and I know that we're graced by Brian's presence as well as the town liaison. And so with that, we'll begin the meeting, and I think we'll dive right into it. So I think I have the notice, so I will act also as secretary here. Hopefully, Jim, you won't mind. And I'll read the first notice. Okay. Notice is hereby given that the Farmington Historic District Commission is holding an online public hearing today, April 21st at 4 p.m. on the following application. Miss Porter's school application for temporary appropriateness to install air handling units at 54 Main Street. And Katie, I know you're here, so if you want to take your name and address and make your presentation as we would if we were all in the same room.
Okay, hello commissioners. Thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Katie Bradley. I am here representing Miss Porter's School at 60 Main Street, Farmington, Connecticut. And our first application, we are asking for a temporary certificate of appropriateness, or I think I said that maybe mixed up, but for air conditioning condensers at the brick dorm, which is at 54 Main Street. And in the first image that is up on the screen, that is the brick dorm. The original part of the dorm is the brick building, and then there is a large white clapboard section of the building off the back. And between those two buildings is a 10 by 20 by 10 alcove, and that is where we are hoping to hide the compressors. They will be almost 100% hidden from Main Street. However, there is another photograph with a view from Porter Road where you will see them, but quite a distance away. It's not the first white and brick building to the left, that's our health center, but yes, that's where it will be, in that area that we would like to put the condensers. And as I was explaining to the people on the call originally at the beginning of the call, that large hemlock unfortunately snapped at the base last week in that huge windstorm. So that's not there, but I know that you don't count landscaping as screening, but we would plan to do some additional landscaping there to screen it. And there is other information in the application to show you the size of the condenser, and they are not pretty. I don't like them as much as you don't like them, but we have found with the summers that we've been having that it's really difficult to use our dorms for our summer programs without air conditioning.
So what I'll do, everybody, is I'll once Katie's done, I'll be sure to call everybody's name so that we don't talk too much over each other. And I will come back and give everybody a second chance as well. I know this could get a little clunky, but hopefully we can be efficient that way. And Kate, I didn't mean to interrupt if you have anything else.
No, that's all right. I really don't have anything else to say.
So
if you have questions, yeah.
Yeah, right. So let me just, again, you said 2 air handlers. There is an alcove there, like a little, and it's going to go in the alcove, is that correct?
Yes, and the alcove, the brick portion that's parallel to the front of the building goes back 10 feet. And then the connector between the two buildings is about 20 feet. And then it comes out 10 feet again, and you see that 10-foot face right there on the white clapboard part. We're hoping to tuck it as close as we can behind the brick portion of the building so that you do not see it from Main Street. And when I took this picture, I didn't take it right in front of the building because then you would never see it. I took it at an angle on the sidewalk that you might potentially see the condenser. It will be very difficult to see from Main Street. However, it will be visible quite a distance away, but it will be visible from Porter Road.
And will it be as close as possible to the connector, you think? Or
Yes, it will be as close as possible to the connector and as close as possible snugged up to the brick portion of the dorm. There are some restrictions. We can't tuck them right next to the building, and offhand, I do not know what that distance is, but I think it's maybe 2 feet that it has to be away from the building, but they are going to tuck it as close as they possibly can.
okay. Jim Calciano, do you have any questions or comments?
Well, a couple of things. I do know they're limited to, you can't put it right up against the building. You need good air circulation. And I certainly can attest to the fact that how hot those dorms do get in the summer, since I had to help install window air conditioners when my daughter taught there for the summer program. So I definitely see the need, and I think they're doing the best they can to keep them, off from the naked eyes. So I don't have a problem with this at all.
Ted, do you have anything?
No, just a comment. I appreciate the fact that you're tucking it in the alcove and making it as hidden as possible. So I have no problem with it either.
Okay, Jay?
Yeah, I agree with Ted. I was going to say the same thing. You know, if it's hidden as much as it can be. And that view from Porter Road, it's such a distance. It seems like it would be pretty hard to really notice it. I think you'd have to be looking for it.
Liz?
I
Liz, are
would
you
just
on?
concur with everything that's been said so far.
Yeah, okay. As far as I know, no one else has called in, but if there's anybody, including Brian, from the public that has any comment on this?
We do
Hearing
have
none.
two.
Oh, you do have a few people
Sorry.
calling in?
I'm sorry, hang on 1 minute, please.
Yep.
I apologize. There were 2 other unknown people in the attendee room, and neither have responded.
Okay. If they send you a chat, let me know.
Actually, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, the public.
Sorry, this is Brian Connolly.
Yes.
Just a question. You had said that we don't allow for screening with landscaping. And to Jim's point, you need air circulation around that. Is there anything else that you might want to consider using to block it from view? Not that we have to, but just wondering if there were other options available to us.
Yeah, so Brian, just to clarify, I think when Katie said we don't allow screening, what she meant was we clearly allow natural landscaping screening. That's not a problem. But when determining whether or not somebody needs a permit because it's visible from a road, you kind of assume there's no natural screening there. And it could be seen someday if the natural screening were taken down. Now, as far as your question, which I guess is a good one, Katie, what types of, are you going to be doing any plantings or other screening there?
Yes, we would prefer to plant plants. I know that it's very difficult. I find that plants are less noticeable and they're obviously, they're more attractive than lattice or a fence or other ways of screening. So our preference has always been, when possible, to screen with, and we can screen, especially since this is an alcove, a distance away from the compressor so that it's not interfering with the air circulation. But from the road, it is definitely a rhododendron or a plant or a series of plantings that screen the compressor from view.
Yeah,
But I prefer not to do the lattice. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I know you're not applying for lattice, so I'm assuming that you'll do plantings as applicable. That'd be great. Any other questions or comments or follow-ups? I don't know what Brian said or anything else. Hearing none, I guess if you don't mind, I'm going to ask somebody to make a motion just so we don't get all stumbly. Jim, do you want to make a motion to approve the temporary certificate of appropriateness for this?
Yeah, I'll move that we grant a temporary certificate of appropriateness at, what's that, 54, what is the number on Main Street?
54.
54 Main Street, as discussed for the location of the condensing units.
Ted, do I have a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, all set on that. Thank you. I'll now read the next notice. Miss Porter's school application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to construct a loop driveway for student pickup / drop off on Porter Road. Once again, Katie, if you'll identify yourself and make your presentation.
Yes, my name's Katie Bradley. I am here today representing Miss Porter School at 60 Main Street. We are asking permission to make a circular or loop drive. We currently, off of Porter Road, we currently have one entrance in that enters behind our Colgate Wellness Center, which is at 44 Main Street. And that's the drive that's right there. And we are hoping, this is one of those enabling projects for our renovation for 60 Main Street. But it also is it has a benefit future, for in the future of our campus as well. So it's something that we have been thinking and hoping to do for a while, and this seemed like the appropriate time. This road, as you can see, turns into a parking area behind our Crisp gym and the dance barn. And it provides some parking for faculty and staff during the day, but then in the evenings and weekends, it provides parking for renters that are renting our gym facility and anybody that is coming to, it's additional parking for the theater, the gym, the dance barn. We hope to use it next year for our day student drop-off, and and by adding this additional exit, we would make an additional leg of the loop. What we hope this does, it's going to be a one-way loop. We need a safe way to drop our students off. We don't want cars going to, in and out both curb cuts on Porter Road. This will also benefit us in the future, besides just next year with our day students, it will be a safer drive for parents that are coming in to drop their children off for basketball or any of the other uses that the town and other outside groups use in our for our gym, the Crisp gym. The fire marshal has actually told us that he would be thrilled if we could do this because it allows a fire truck. It's been engineered in a way that emergency vehicles and first responders would be able to get through and all the way around without having to pull in. And now if they pull in, they have to back out, which is quite a challenge. We have met with the neighbors. The one house on Porter Road that Miss Porter School does not own is the Boudreau house, and their house is somewhat across the street from the large Crisp gym. It's directly across the street, and we met with them, and in that discussion they were supportive. Our goal is to have the entrance to and you'll see the arrow in that drawing. The entrance would be the curb cut that is farthest west, furthest away from Main Street, and that would allow people to turn in there, and their lights would be turning away from the Boudreau's property. So if you came in at night, for all the people that would be coming and going, the exit cars, the cars exiting would be exiting closer to Main Street, and there would not be any traffic and lights shining into the Boudreaux's property or into their house. This also increases the number of parking, which, as we all know, is a problem in the village. And it also provides not only this pickup and drop-off area, it moves it off of Main Street, which is where it currently is for day student parents. And oftentimes at the busy pickup and drop-off times, there's a queue onto Main Street while people are waiting to turn in. This gets that traffic off of Main Street. It does not increase the number of students. I mean, there will be no increased traffic. It just moves it to another road that is not as busy as Main Street. And then after our 1 year of renovating 60 Main Street, and we open up another loop over off of Garden Street, this just takes the pressure off of having only one pickup and drop off place on campus for all day student activities and events and local rentals. So we're hoping that you approve this. We have an extensive landscaping plan, and the goal is, let's see, can I go to the next slide? And then we could come back to this one. There's one that has the landscaping on it. And I apologize that it's facing the other direction, so it might be harder to see. But if you've seen this section of our campus, it's sloped up. So we will be hoping to screen all on the inside of that curve so that when you're on Porter Road, you won't see the cars. Obviously you will at the very beginning because the planting material might not be as large as we'd hope, but the goal will be to eventually hide and screen all of the parking and the traffic. And in this drawing that was there before, after we put the application in, the fire marshal asked us if we could we have a curb cut further down the street, and it enters, it's down, you can't see it in that drawing, but if you go to the one, yes, there's a little curb cut between the trees there, and it's just a muddy path. And when we were talking to Mike Galino about this, he said this might be the time to ask for permission for a new paved drive to the back of the Crisp gym, because that serves as our emergency exit from the gym. And right now there's no way in the winter for us, it's difficult. We do it, we keep it plowed, even though it's grass, but it would be easier to keep plowed if it was a paved area. Right now it's gravel. And then we were thinking about our students in the Macomber dorm, which is across Porter Road. And we were thinking that in order for them to access the gym, the dance barn, the theater, right now we're having, there would be no easy way for them to traverse other than grass. And we just thought maybe this would be the time to ask for a little bit of a sidewalk on that section of Porter Road to connect the Main Street sidewalk, which is already there, to this new circular driveway. But I know I've thrown a lot of extra things in there, but a lot of people have had ideas since I originally put this in. So I'm going to give you an opportunity now to ask questions, because I'm sure you'll have a lot.
Okay. Again, just a couple. I'll start with only as more to make sure I understand it, and maybe it'll help others. I guess, first of all, obviously, you're talking about paving all of these surfaces. That's correct?
Correct.
Just be black pavement. And what about the sidewalk? What would that be made out of?
That would be pavement to match the existing Main Street sidewalk. And there is also a sidewalk across the street on Porter Road that is asphalt.
Correct, right. And then the currently muddy path, emergency exit or ingress and egress, how wide would that be?
That would be wide enough for a vehicle to get in because we use it for loading and unloading when we have SATs and that sort of thing. And the goal would obviously, it doesn't need to be the width of 2 vehicles. It just needs to be the width of 1 truck so that they could back in and unload tables and chairs. Right now, we just drive on the grass and it's always muddy and it's always a mess. And there's gravel at the beginning of it, but it's hard to keep maintained year round for the means of egress.
And then what about, I drive by there a lot, not a lot, but I drive by there, as you know. I did notice that the topography is fairly steep coming down, I guess, away from Main Street. Are you going to need retaining walls?
No, we aren't, which is really fortunate. Lavero, the company that helped us with engineering this, well, we had Hodge come out and survey it. And I believe there's one more site plan here that doesn't have my handwriting all over it, that has possibly, it should have the.
I didn't upload that.
Oh, you
I only
didn't?
uploaded recent.
Okay, and maybe the planting has more. Well, if you put the planting one on, that will, at least I can talk to where the steepest location on this site is to the west, between the corner of the Crisp Gym, which is the large rectangle there, yes. And we are able to slope it in a way that we will not need a retaining wall. It also, we're going to put grasses on that slope just so that they grow, it's a variety of a taller grass that has beautiful color and beautiful plume, but we chose a grass for that location because that's most likely where the guys are going to shovel all the snow off in the winter, and I didn't want to put plantings in there that they were going to damage. But it makes the most sense that side, maybe not that far up, but that side, that's the steepest part. And there are no retaining walls here.
That's great. And then last thing, hopefully I'm not taking everybody's questions. Signage, you'll be back when I'm assuming, or are you not going to need any signage?
Well, the school would like us to have signage, and I will definitely come back for signage. They would like to identify that this is Miss Porter's school. It would probably be one of our classic school signs that have been approved, but I will come back with that. We don't know what we want to call it yet. It's not going to be the day student drop off, but it will say Miss Porter's school and maybe north entrance. I don't know. No one has made a decision on that yet. So I would definitely come back with signage.
Okay.
There are also currently right now 2 lights on the 2 lamp posts on either side of this exit area, and we will be changing those 2 lamp posts out to match the lamps that you just approved for the corner of Porter and Main and in front of Macomber Dorm. They're all the dark sky compliant lights. So since that whole stretch in front of Macomber Dorm and the corner of Porter and Main are going to have the dark sky compliant lights, it made sense to me that you would want, or at least I assumed that you would want that same style lighting at this area, in this area. So
Are you adding lights?
So what I was hoping to do, there are 2 lights on either side of this current driveway. And what I was hoping to do is to just take one of those to the other entrance so that we are not adding lights. We are just taking the 2 on either side of the existing drive and putting 1 at each curb cut.
Mhm.
So essentially not adding, just moving one over.
Oh, that's interesting. I would have assumed maybe, or maybe you already have lighting up in the parking lot areas, but,
We do have lighting in the parking area, and we would not be changing that.
okay.
But we
All
would,
right.
yeah. I'm thinking of the Boudreaux's too. If we need a light at each entrance for safety
Mhm.
and identifying the entrance, I was thinking I would, if I know I would not want to have one of our regular lampposts right across from somebody's house. So the dark sky compliant light will direct that light down just on the drive and not wash across the street.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna turn to the other commission members. Again, I'll call your name, and again, if something pops in your head later, I'll give you another chance, so try to keep it orderly. I'll start with Jay. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, do you have to come back to that lighting? Is that something that we'd have to do, okay? Or would they just do it without asking us?
With the light?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a fair question. I mean, Katie, I don't really see it in the application. Is this something you were planning on coming back for?
I am happy to come back for it.
I think I'd prefer that only because it's not in here. And I mean, and first I should have said, by the way, I'm very happy to hear that you've spoken to the Boudreaux's. Quite frankly, when I looked at this, that was my biggest concern. But, you know, just in case somebody, you know, lighting is important to people. I know that. So I'd prefer to have something in an agenda application before we decide.
I will definitely do that. It's in the actual plan that Lavero has, the one that with the elevations, that light is in it. So I didn't realize I needed to, it's not in the planting plan, but it is in the plan that, that the other plan that I submitted that Mark said he didn't bring up. But
I can dig it out. I can dig it out.
Okay, I was just.
Well, that's okay. I think what I'd prefer is just, why don't you, I mean, I'm assuming that's not, well, I don't know. I mean, if it's gonna, is it critical for?
Oh, no, we're gonna have plenty of work to do. I'm happy to bring it back.
Or is it on
I'm happy to
here?
come
Did I
back
miss
with
it?
another application.
And it was not part of the actual application, so perhaps.
No, it
it's
did not say it in the wording, but
Yeah.
it's in the drawing, what's the one with the elevations?
Okay, so why don't you plan on
Yeah, I'll
coming
come
back for
back.
that when you're ready? Because you're gonna change the post too, so that there's more.
Right.
Okay, Jay, do you
Yep.
have anything? Do you have anything else? That was a great point, by the way. Thank you. Do you have anything else?
The only other thing is, are we going to vote on that pavement along with this? Where they talked
I
about the
can come
pavement, the
back.
gravel.
Why
I
don't
don't
I
know. I mean,
come
I don't
back?
care.
Katie, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Why don't I come back for the sidewalk, the pavement, and the lighting?
That'd be
And
great.
the sign.
And the sign. I'll come back for all of those things, because really what we need to know right now is this, if you're even going to consider approving the additional curb cut and driveway,
Right.
the other half.
Okay. Liz, do you have anything? Questions, comments, thoughts?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Ted?
Just a comment. When I saw the application, I had to go down and walk by it, and I hadn't even realized there was a parking lot back there. So if you do as good a job screening this new one as you did the old one, it'll be great.
Great point. I kind of did the same thing, and I went by it recently, and I didn't quite realize that parking was there. That's, I guess, I was driving too fast. Okay. Jim Calciano, anything?
Yes. First, I'd like to say that I think they've done an incredible job. A lot of thought went into doing this. It's complicated, and I have used that parking because it's kind of hidden, and I have used it from time to time. Katie, how many parking spaces are there now?
You know what?
About
Hold on.
5?
It's in the small print and I cannot, I can't remember off the top of my
Well,
head.
don't worry. I know it's less than what you're asking for.
Here, it's
but-
right,
but-
I'm sorry, it's right here. It says, existing parking. So they're just adding the parking on the west, the north side of the lot on the, right now,
Sure.
there are spots, and we're now gonna have 15 spots on that, but by changing this, by adding the loop, we add 9 more spots.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a great use of that space. I like the safetiness for the and the attractiveness that horseshoe will do. So it is definitely, as Ted said, it's going to look a heck of a lot better than it does now. So I like that. I'm glad that you're attending to that access to the gym, because I always thought that was so un-Porters because I would see the mud and I would see the grass and I said, what is that driveway apron? What is that for? Why don't they connect it? So I personally like what you want to do there. My only suggestion that if it were to be a blacktop enough for a pickup truck, that you put some kind of maybe like recessed curbing, just so it's edged. So you may want to think about that. I also thought that I don't know. To me, the lighting, since there's 2 there already, and we've already approved the style that they have right next door, that to me, I thought that could be done administratively, but that's for you guys to discuss further. But I like what's happening there. I think it's going to be very attractive. And from a safety point, the drop off over in front of Maine was never good. And there's going to be a little more, a few more parking spaces for access to the gym and the theater. So I'm in favor of everything that's been proposed. That's it.
Okay. One follow-up for me. I think you said that the Boudreaux's house was the only house not owned by Porter's on Porter Road, but I thought, what about the Mock's house?
We bought it.
They bought it. They
Oh.
bought it.
Nice. Okay. It's a beautiful house.
It's
Okay.
adorable house.
Yeah.
I wish
Love
I
it.
could move into it. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful house.
Okay, well, that explained it, because it just clicked all of a sudden when you were saying, when I saw the map. Okay. Is there anybody online, or that, I guess it would just be online, the public that would like to ask the applicant a question, or the commission, or make a comment? Including Brian, if you want to. Okay.
I see no raised hands.
Okay. All right. So I guess just to be clear, as I asked for a motion, the only thing we're really determining today is to allow the construction of the additional parking, the continuation of to make the full driveway, half circle, whatever, loop, I guess, loop driveway.
2 curb cuts.
And
One extra.
one curb cut.
Yep.
Was there anything else that Katie, that you're being asked for specifically today that you want to
No,
make
that
sure?
all today is the construction of the circular drive and the additional parking and paving and the 1 curb cut.
Okay.
One additional curb cut.
Right. By the way, that's really smart. It didn't occur to me the way that you're having where the traffic is going to come in at the northwesterly side rather than the other, so you keep the lights away from. the house.
I always
Yep.
think about what I would want if I lived somewhere. And it's like, there is no way I would want all those cars exiting right
Right.
into the Boudreaux's front window.
Exactly.
We
Okay.
tried to even angle it as far away so it wasn't even near their property. And we got it. That says, you can see how it kind of turns back
Right.
onto Porter Road.
Okay, so Jay, can would you make a motion?
I will. I'll make the motion to grant a temporary certificate of appropriateness to Ms. Porter Sewell, the construction of the new loop driveway and additional parking with pavement.
Excellent. Liz or somebody, could we get a second?
I second.
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 All right, we got Liz. Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none. All set. The motion is approved. And you're all set, Katie.
Thank you all very much, and I really appreciate the effort to put this all together virtually. I hope everybody stays safe, and I'll be back. Hopefully the next time I'm back, we'll all be back at Town Hall
Yes.
In person,
so.
yeah.
in person.
Yeah.
I hope so too. Thank you,
Yeah.
Katie.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the rest of us, and obviously everybody's welcome to stay on, by the way, this is a public meeting. I guess first, all other business, is there anything, Mark, other than staff report or other business that you have?
I have nothing for you at this time, other than it is undeniably busy. We continue to process applications. TPZ is holding meetings. Their next meeting of May 11th is going to be a busy one. We're getting used to this Zoom format and a little bit of growing pains, but otherwise, I think it's serving the community well. I do have one applicant that wants to come and see you next time, and I'm hoping she makes an application. It's Mrs. Howlett, or Ms. Howlett, at 99 Main Street. She suffered some porch damage. She's got the little brick gambrel roof. Suffered some porch damage with a storm several winters ago, and is finally getting around to getting quotes to fix it. So I filled the application out for her, sent it out to her yesterday, and hopefully she'll get some drawings back to us and we can get her moving.
Great. That's good. Does anybody else have any other business they want to discuss or bring up?
Do we have to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah, I'm gonna,
Okay.
for whatever reason it's last on the agenda, I'll hit that.
Okay.
Thank you though for reminding me, because I probably would have tried to adjourn. Anything else? No?
None here.
Okay. I'm just trying to think. I did not write things down before I got on the phone. I should have, but I guess I have none too. So in that case, can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the March 17th meeting?
So moved.
So moved.
Seconded?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, changes, suggested edits? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Hearing none. Thank you. I guess that's it.